right, welcome back. Now let's get into it. But before then, how about, as usual, take you through the front page of our local dailies quickly in 30 seconds. On the front page of the Standard, dreaded chiefs back. That is on the front page of the Standard. Dreaded chiefs back. It says that President William Ruto has resurrected the long-feared imperial chief, arming administrators, handing them fresh battalions of officers, and also restoring a command structure Kenyans thought that they had abolished years ago. What State House hails as quote-unquote empowerment is being read on the ground as the return of village enforcers whose past brutality is etched in national memory. Suspicion is growing that the government is rebuilding a grassroots machine ahead of the 2027 general election. That is what I have here on the front page of the Standard. Very quickly, on the front page of the Star newspaper, regard the blunders trigger unease among allies in opposition camp. Regard the blunders trigger unease among allies in opposition camp. Public outburst, perceived ethnically leaning and escalating rivalry with former Interior CS Fred Matiang'i ignite tension. That is on the front page. Of course, there are several beautiful pictures here. Winners of the just concluded by-election were sworn in yesterday. They took oath of office and ready to hit the ground running. Different of them, several of them took their oath of office yesterday. And finally, on the front page of the Daily Nation, gangland hotspots. That is what I have here on the front page of the Daily Nation, gangland hotspots. There is a graphical illustration of what the Ministry of Interior is talking about, and the government is talking about the where they thrive and how you can talk about that. Of course, Ministry Cabinet Interior Cabinet Secretary for Interior, that is Kipchumba Murkomen, is also raising that alarm but assuring Kenyans that all is well. So you can go out there and take a look or buy your favorite copy and read for yourself. Let's come back to that. Let's talk about when it comes to all of us demand justice, and that justice cannot be served without one lady who is the helm of that ministry. PS, good morning and welcome to the program.
Thank you. Good morning.
Asante, this is how we do it every single morning.
Yeah, that's okay.
That's
nice, yeah.
Karibu sana.
Yeah.
First of all, your docket must be a very busy one. You can just take us through that. How is your day today? For that person who doesn't understand, these are 3 departments in one.
Yes, it is all matters justice.
Yes.
Of course, I'm not the only player in the justice field, but I have a mandate. And all matters human rights and issues of the Constitution of Kenya. So you can imagine talking about, if I look at the executive order that establishes my mandate, talks about issues on public participation, talks about implementation of the Constitution,
yes,
talks about reparations, task force and inquiry reports. I'm supposed to implement them. It talks about treaty obligations, international and regional treaty obligations, and how we adhere to them and how we bring down the messages to the people after you comply as a country.
Yes.
It talks about reforms and policy, inclusive legal reforms and policies on elections. So it is a big docket, but,
yes,
but I am up to the task.
Great. How is Kenya doing when it comes to access to justice? Access to justice. How are we doing?
A lot is going on. A lot is going on. I am looking at. Let's look at the provisions of the Constitution of Kenya. In fact, right now we are planning to do an audit of the Constitution. What have we achieved so far? Where are we? Where are we going?
Yeah.
Where have we fallen short? And what can we do to ensure that justice comes to the people? So we have a lot of initiatives. It's only that maybe today I might not have time to say one by one what are the initiatives that we have undertaken to ensure that there is proper access to justice. So probably today I'll just deal with, let's say, 2 or 3 items.
Go ahead.
That are here. First of all, the Constitution of Kenya has put it very clearly that the citizens have a say in everything that we do. So right now, we have a public participation bill that is ongoing in Parliament. We have a public participation bill itself on how to make people participate in decision making in this country, how we will get views from them. Before you pass any law, before you do any policy, before you take any decision, the people must be involved. That in itself is an aspect of good governance. That in itself is being accountable to the people. So that public participation bill that is ongoing in Parliament, as soon as it's out, it will give us a framework on how we will do everything involving the people, how we can get views from the people to be able to run this the government. So the people are at the center of it. We are giving them a platform to be at the center by involving them through a public participation framework.
Yeah.
That is one. Then I have the National Legal Aid Service.
Yes.
We are taking the service to the people, the access to justice to the people. Last week, the Honorable Attorney General, my department, the State Department of Justice and Human Rights, falls under the Office of the Attorney General. Last week, the Honorable Attorney General and ourselves were there launching the legal aid service and Attorney General's legal aid clinics. Yeah. What is in these clinics? We have employed 47 state councils. I mean, in the 47 counties, we have employed 2 state councils per county, employed by government. To do what? To go to mashinani, to serve the people. There is provision in the Constitution of Kenya that says every Kenyan has a right to access to justice. How do you make sure that there is access to justice? The National Legal Aid Service was brought about so that we provide legal aid for free to that person who is an indigent, a person who is unable to afford a counsel, a person who is unable to represent themselves in court. So we have sent 2 state councils to do that.
Yes.
In all the counties.
All the counties. That is,
yes.
That is around
47 counties.
47 counties.
Yes, so we are starting with the 47, one office per county first. Of course, it is not enough, but it is where we are starting from, looking at the budgets we have, looking at the preparations that we have. In fact, if you saw what we launched in Kibera, because that's where we did the national launch, we have a container that has offices. Yeah. Just a container, simple, neatly done, kitted container, placed in an accessible place for anybody from the village to walk in and say, I have an issue with how to access justice. And then we have the councils attending to them and directing them through the processes of the law. And for the poor, they are able to vet and see who is this poor person who is unable to defend themselves, and they shall be represented and they are paid for this.
That must be a very good initiative, because we have got a lot of backlog of cases and delays. Do you have timelines as to when this should be done?
For now, we are rolling out. We've already rolled out Kibra. The office is up and running. We have rolled out Kitui, the office is up and running. We have rolled out Machakos, the office is up and running. Right now we are kitting more containers because I've told you we are mobile. We are putting a container in an accessible place in every county so that then people don't get intimidated going to where there is a lot of security. We want a free access to justice for the people. So we are still rolling out. We are hoping within no time every county will be fully operational. So that's where we are.
Okay.
And the people are invited to know that there is a national legal aid service for the poor, and there is a service that we have employed state councils to give you for free because government is paying for you to access justice.
Okay. I'll come back to you shortly, Madam PS, but I'm told that the Ministry of Justice is also rolling out certain activities in the country. That is the 11th, the County Anti-Corruption Civilian Oversight Committee. That will be happening on the 11th of December. And the aim is to help civilians to access justice and roll it by themselves. But now the question I want to ask you, Madam PS, when you're doing this, it's called County Anti-Corruption Civilian Oversight Committee. What is it all about? And is it, how is it going to be? It sounds interesting, though.
Yes, that is a major one that I want to speak to this country about.
Yes.
We, as the State Department of Justice, under the guidance of the Attorney General, are rolling out the launch of the County Anti-Corruption Civilian Oversight Committees. What are these committees? There are going to be 47 committees in the 47 counties. I'll be having about 500 members being trained from 8th of December, and the major launch will be done on the 11th of December, which is just next week. So our committees are coming up for training. How did we establish these committees? First of all, I looked at the Executive Order number 1 of 2025, which establishes my office, the office of the entire office of the Attorney General, which gives a mandate to the State Department of Justice, where I had. In that executive order, corruption is mentioned 8 times. Efforts to fight corruption mentioned 8 times in that executive order. So it means I have a major mandate, but it's not about the investigatory part. It's not about the prosecution part. It's about engagement with the citizens, teaching them, talking to them, civic education, campaigns, awareness, the people to be involved in the fight against corruption. So how did we design our engagement with the people to help us fight corruption? We have a committee in each county. That is what we are calling the County Anti-Corruption Civilian Oversight Committees. What does it, who sits in this committee? The church. The church has been very vocal in the fight against corruption. We are asking the church to come out very strongly, join us. They have given us members in each of these committees. We wrote to the
so it is them to choose.
We wrote to the Interreligious Council of Kenya to give us an appointees, not even one, appointees to these committees. So it's them to make sure the people they have given us are people who are people of integrity, people who will come and help us fight corruption. We are also vetting the people they have given us. So the church has given us members. We have written to Maendeleo ya Wanawake. The Maendeleo ya Wanawake has given us 47 women, strong women, to join us in fighting corruption in this committee. We have written to the National Youth Council. You, the young people, you are the people, the same people saying, and they have a right to, let us fight corruption because it is eating into our opportunities. It is eating into a lot of progress in this country. So we have written to the National Youth Council. They have given us appointees in every of these counties. We have written to the body with the PWDs to also give us a representative. We don't want them to be left behind. We have ensured that the media, you the media, will be there as we do our job.
No doubt about that.
For you to be able to cover the activities and show what these people are doing. What are they going to do? After we have formed the committee of about 10 to 15 people, they are going to do social audits. Remember, we have the legal audits, but these are social audits. The people themselves telling us, this classroom, please come, invite ESCC because we've seen there is something going wrong. Who feels who is this person who feels the pinch when there is corruption around? It is the citizen. The citizen can report to us.
Madam PS, at the end of the day, how are they going to do the reporting?
They normally sit, they have a chair, they have a committee, the same committee sits down, they do social audits, we empower them to do social audits, they do a report, they send to us, we go through the reports, and then you sieve it. Which one requires reference to ESCC? You refer.
Great.
By the way, when we go to the ground, we are with ESCC. We still invite them because they have a mandated prosecution, investigations. Even this training, we are training these CACOCs this week, ESCC is involved in, we are doing it together so that they help us to train and we share experiences. Because not only us are able to do civic education, everybody can do civic education. So this is a civic education exercise, an awareness campaign that corruption must be fought. And how do you identify corruption? How do you report? And then from there, we're able to save it. Those that go to ESCC, go to ESCC. Those that go for arbitration, go to arbitration. Those that can just be rectified on the spot, they are rectified.
I'm asking that question because when it comes to justice system administration, corruption and public trust deficit is a big issue.
Yes.
How are you handling that?
That is, for us, it is about awareness.
Awareness.
Can you come out and know what corruption looks like and know how to report when something goes wrong, how to become a whistleblower. Remember we did a whistleblowers bill the other day. It is also on its way to Parliament. How do we need to give people to give people information for them to be informed on how they can do all these things. And together we move. Yeah.
And then, because at the end of the day, when you want to access justice, there are certain barriers. What are these barriers that you're trying to tackle and flatten?
There are barriers. Let me tell you. The other day when we launched the legal aid service in Machakos, somebody walked in and said, I have never known how to do this. There's a lot of ignorance, lack of information. Simple things that can be done by just giving the right information and guiding somebody is so easy. A lot of people see a lot of things happening and they don't report.
Yeah.
Look at, like, I'm talking majorly about corruption, fighting corruption and sensitizing people about corruption and the citizen involvement on this one. It is because most of the people who are there present when things are happening are, not most, every time there's a citizen when something is happening. But does that citizen know where to channel the right information? So we want them to be sensitized, to be able to channel, to be able to discern, to be able to observe.
Okay, let's talk about, because when you want to include Mwananchi to access justice, there is that strained relationship between Wanjiku or the citizen and the law enforcement officers. How are you bridging this relationship, at least to make it more cordial, that access to justice should not be a hard nut to crack?
Yeah, you remember when we had these Gen Z issues? We came out to give a Know Your Rights charter.
Yes.
Just know your rights. When you get in, this is what you need to do. You don't have to be aggressive. Put your point across. Like, we didn't have to have anybody destroy anybody's property for you to say, I don't like this. We want this to be done in the right manner. So we have to come out and sensitize people. That is the only way that they know their rights, they are able to defend their rights, they are even able to declare and say, hey, this is my right, and I want to be addressed in this manner. So the basic thing with this exercise is our sensitization, is an awareness campaign, so that the citizens feel that they are informed, they are empowered to be able to address. Now, this container that we have taken to the people, very accessible, placed in an accessible place where anybody can walk in. We don't want people to be walking into a place where a citizen is feeling intimidated.
Yes.
We want a citizen to just know that I have a simple place that I can walk into. Now, I saw you mentioning about the chiefs today. Every citizen in this country, if you went to ask the citizen, do you know where your chief is? Is there a citizen in this country who does not know where their chief is? The citizen will know how to reach to the nearest point of help, which normally is the chief, which normally is a village elder. But if you place this container among the same people, where like you place it at the DC's place, in fact, we're saying we'll place them in open grounds where they can just access. It will be so easy.
Have you ever had a situation where anytime you have public participation or when listening to people, you get a feeling that there's a restriction to civil liberties when it comes to Wanjiku? I mean, the citizens.
It is not really a restriction. Just as I'm saying, it is because they are of lack of information.
Yeah.
So you find, yes, it ends up being a restriction. Because when you don't know, then you're not able. There's a day we did a civic education and did a public participation somewhere in Nyeri. And we took time to explain. And they said, oh, if this is what it is, then we're in it. So it just needed the interaction between the government and the people. So we are trying to bridge that gap, that we engage the people directly. After all, that is what the Constitution tells us, that is it the citizen who should make a decision. Before we make a decision, we get to hear from the citizen. So we are doing it. We are bridging that gap.
Okay. Are you including, when it comes to justice dispensation, there are certain areas where you can do, out-of-court settlements, arbitrations, for example, or you just include wazee wa nyumba kumi, all right, to dispense justice. Are you including this in the system to access justice?
Yes, you know very well there is the alternative justice system going on in this country.
Yes.
There is arbitration going on in this country, and it's helping a lot in terms of settling a lot of issues amongst the people. In fact, to me, I think they should extend it to traditional ways of of helping us out. You know, the sober traditional ways, not the crude ones. There is a way, normally you're told tradition can be, unless it is contrary to the law. Anything that is contrary to the law, you don't do it. But anything that complements the law, inclusive consents. How many times have citizens go to record a consent? They say we've sat down with people and we have agreed. And most of it is because of these aspects of alternative justice system. In fact, we should be giving, which we are doing.
Yes.
Most of these disputes can be handled through the alternative justice system, which is already working in the country. Yes.
When it comes to grassroots, because that's where a lot of issues arise. And you say that you are expanding and you're having 2 legal aid in all the 47 counties. What is the backlog like? Because when you have got 2, that is 47 counties represented by 2 legal aids. But I'm just wondering the backlog that we have out there.
It is so much. There is so much that is out there, so much need. I have kept giving the example of Kajiado County, where I come from, because I know the size of Kajiado County. It is almost the size of the Republic of Rwanda. So you're giving 2 state councils to a county that is as big as the size of the Republic of Rwanda. So you can imagine how many people will be able to access. Yeah. So there's so much, but we have to start somewhere. It has never been there before. We have never devolved the services, decentralization. And by the way, government has given money for purposes of decentralization, but it's not enough. So we are reaching out to the health partners, we are reaching out to those of goodwill to make sure that at the end of the day, we are reaching out to the people. If you have 2 state councils per county, they can, as big as that, they might not be able to cover. But at least we have started somewhere. Yeah. What we'd be asking for is, can we now devolve further from the county headquarters to the sub-county and even to the village?
Yes.
Yeah. So we are trying our best with what there is, but there is a starting point, and we have done it.
How is Kenya doing continentally when it comes to human rights?
Just like every other country, we have challenges. You saw the other day, we actually have a lot of issues because we have violations of human rights outside the country, like the one of Myanmar. Our people have been trafficked, because I also have an obligation under the executive order to report and to observe our international obligations as far as the treaties that we have as a country ratified, which includes those ones of human rights. So you find we have our people there suffering. The other day you saw the ones in Russia, who either they have been smuggled or they have been trafficked, and we have to come out and defend our people in as far as those victims are concerned and their rights are concerned. On the issues of human rights, we have challenges like every other country, but I want to say, the other day I attended one on the same human trafficking, and these ones of Myanmar were mentioned, and the ones in Russia. And every other country was reporting their issues, and we are just the same. All of us struggling to do the right thing. Kenya is struggling to do the right thing. The other day we had a meeting. I actually reached out to Ministry of Foreign Affairs, I reached out to Labor, Ministry of Labor, because the people who are being trafficked are actually labor-related issues. But as they do the labor-related issues, I need to do the human rights and victim protection issues. By the way, I'm the chair of the Victim Protection Board, having been appointed the other day by virtue of the being PS. So we are looking for those victims. We are now having a small technical group to feed us from the Ministry of Foreign Affairs, from the Ministry of Labor, to ensure that our people are taken care of. But over and above, I think we are doing well. Okay. We have the necessary laws in place, so all we need to do is tighten the loose ends.
Perhaps just take you back to the Russia issue. It's not something that many Kenyans would be so happy about. Many families are around wondering what the government is doing. Perhaps some word of hope from you, maybe with collaboration with other state departments? Yes,
this is a multi-agency issue. When it comes to me, it has a human rights angle, it has a victims angle, because we handle victims, and then there is the angle of immigration, there is the angle of labor, and foreign affairs is also doing their bit. So we had an engagement the other day, and surely there is so much that is happening. It's only that We've not been probably saying that so much is happening. Briefs from that technical team is that we are doing our best to repatriate our people, to make sure that before anybody even leaves this country, the red alarms are taken care of. They at least some reasonable vetting is being done. They are being sensitized so that when you get out, we don't block people from going to look for employment, but we have a duty to sensitize them, to make sure that whatever they are going to do is within the law and that they are not being trafficked or smuggled.
Let's come back. Thank you for that. I think that's well articulated. So now when it comes to the ministry, how are you intending to enhance justice delivery to the grassroots level, starting from the grassroots level, moving up to the national point of it?
Yeah, so you've had the three beautiful activities already going on. The public participation has been done, it's going on. I have informed you about the National Legal Aid Service and employment of state councils in every county to reach out to the people. Then I have now this beautiful program that is rolling out from the 8th to the 11th. We are going to launch them on the 11th, of having civilian committees to engage with the people, to do civic education, to make our people aware of what we are doing, and to ensure that for once and for all, the citizen is involved, the church is involved, the young people are involved, the media are involved in fighting corruption. Okay.
I want us to wind up there, but I want to give you a quote when it comes to justice. There's a gentleman called Martin Luther King. You all know the Martin Luther. He said that justice delayed is justice denied. What do you make of that? It's a cliche kind of a quote that has been given on.
We say it as lawyers. I'm a lawyer by profession.
Yes.
And it is true that justice delayed is justice denied. It is true, because somebody might suffer for a very, very long time. And at the end of the day, by the time you give justice, I have some cases of people who have told me that we have waited until the plaintiff is long dead.
Yeah.
That person died without getting the justice. Because sometimes if it is delayed, then it is actually like almost denied. Of course, it's normally not intentional.
Yes.
It would not be intentional.
Yeah.
From my angle, that it is delayed, but circumstances lead to such a delay. So the best we can do is for a person to access justice, it must be quick, it must be efficient. The service to our people must be transparent, must be quick and efficient. That is the only way we will be able to reach out to.
And basically, that's exactly what you're doing right now.
Yes, and that's what we are doing. We're trying to make sure it's quick, it is efficient, and it is transparent.
Thank you. That is Madam PS. Thank you so much for coming to the show. That is PS Judith Pareno, who is a Principal Secretary, State Department for Justice, Human Rights and Constitutional Affairs. A lot is coming. In the month of December, I will be there.
You're welcome.
KBC will be there. Count us in. Thank you so much for joining us.
KBC should be there for the launch of the county anti-corruption civilian oversight committees from all the counties in the Republic of Kenya. Launch will be on the 11th of December. Let us fight corruption. Let us have the citizen be at the center of it.
Great. A great point to wrap up that conversation. Thank you so much for joining us. We're taking a break, but Good Morning Kenya still continues after this break. So please stay with us.